Hello.
Fancy meeting you all here.
Indeed. Good microphone, Chantel. When you were pouring that, that sounded like you were doing it right down to the little fizz at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, who needs who needs Syrinscape? We'll just have like a Foley person off camera doing stuff.
I have actually done that. Okay, so it's a lot more fun and not fun than you think.
I think Zoom would appreciate it very much. It didn't like those Tic Tacs or whatever you were shaking a second ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to say hello noise gate. I'm here to attack you.
Shall we play a little game?
Yeah, I probably didn't need to go there right then. Campaign. Apparently I'm running a campaign today. Should probably find that. Unlawful. Maybe stream didn't. Do you have a blinky light?
Oh my goodness. Up until this exact moment, stream could in fact not hear me.
A travesty.
You know what
What
this
do you mean
means?
a travesty?
Pour
This
more
means-
wine.
Exactly.
Pour more wine.
Oh.
Everyone listen.
I have to drink more wine in order to have the pour. In order to have the perfect pour, but I've now got a really full glass of wine, so...
Oh no.
And at least everyone heard it pour.
It's true. Thank you all for enabling my drinking.
They can probably all hear my blaster fire too.
Oh, okay. Where did you get that? It gated itself pretty hard but we heard the initial squeak. It sounded pretty good.
This is true.
Yeah, the stream probably heard it, but yeah, that's getting clipped out by Zoom. That's fun.
Thank you, my pram. I shall. I think you'll find I shall drink. Because I'm not working next week.
Oh, I was just gonna say you've got vacation.
It took me 8 weeks, but I got there.
Fantastic!
You have to
Congratulations.
give 8 weeks notice, and I have ADHD, so guess how long that took to do.
8 weeks.
8 weeks. Your 8 weeks notice, and
And then I almost forgot when it was happening and got dates wrong because I meant to have 2 weeks in a row off and then didn't. So, unlawful disorder.
What trouble will our zany
awful.
heroes get into this week, gang?
Yuck.
The yuck.
That's what a sip of wine will do.
All right. Just give me a moment here. I've got some buttons to push on this end. Clicky. Hey, buttons pushed. All right. So we've got the game log up. We have fancy music in the background. I hope it's coming through on the stream. I'm going to go find the map I'm supposed to be talking about because hey, I'm an organized GM.
I mean,
Or was. Was. All right, there we go. I have the map. Yay. All right. So let's have a quick chat. Something I actually haven't done in a while, and so I figure it's a good thing to do actually as part of the stream. Real fast, is everyone enjoying the game?
Yes.
Okay, we're going in a good place.
what a question.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't be here. ADHD says no.
Yeah.
No, I mean just seriously, it's a good thing. It's a silly thing, but I think it's a fundamental skill. A fundamental question. A lot of GMs fail to ask. You can easily make the mistake of just everyone showed up again. They're clearly having fun, but some people just start showing up out of habit. particularly, you know, Anno Covitatis, and where this is actually a show and you're actually all theater people, you show up with broken ankles. So I thought I would
I feel
ask...
like you need to not attack me really directly in a way that I've broken an ankle and still done a show.
I know we're not singing and dancing-ish, but I figured I would at least actually ask the question of you all. Are we all still having fun?
Yes.
Yes. Right.
Stop staring at me like that, Nadine.
That's
Breaking
okay.
an ankle isn't even the worst.
Lady, like I say, I did...
I enjoy playing games, and I will do shows because the show must go on, and I'm going to cover my eyes so that I am protected from that stare.
Deflector is up.
It's funny that you think that that will protect you from this stare.
I'm trying. I'm having fun.
Okay, good. Like I say, I don't mind beating up your characters. I do mind beating up you lot. So I just wanted to make sure that that everything was still cool. Where we've just had a new character basically start integrating into the group. I mean, Sam's an old friend, but that doesn't mean that maybe the character is the wrong answer. Stuff like that. So I just figured, and this is one of those conversations that would usually happen off screen, but I think it's beneficial that folks watching understand that we're doing stuff like this, that we're having these conversations, and that, you know, we're taking care of each other as part of the game. So I just wanted to ask the question and make sure everyone was cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So now the in-character stuff. Let's start out with Spider and get our diary room moment here. Oh sure, shovel food in your mouth right away there, Spider. As soon as I call. That's how well you're doing, hey?
What's up, mate?
So, how are things going? Recent events, the usual stuff.
Well, the town we're in got attacked by them nasty vampire things that took out Chevalier, and I suggested that we all, you know, not get ourselves involved. Meanwhile, the children all got themselves involved.
I'm sorry, what? What did you just call me?
This is my private time in the diary room.
There's no private time when someone's calling me a child.
Alexander's head just snaps across. What was that?
What? Did someone call me a child 2 miles away?
The funny part is, he actually didn't mention any names. You called yourself that, actually, and I'll leave you in that bit, and I'll leave you consider. Back to Spider.
Speaking of children, we've got this creepy, drunk, wise owl kid who can't see, but can see far more than he should. Tagging along. He reminds me of someone I knew when I was a tyke, and I mean, they weren't nearly as creepy nor wise, but the point is, I think I like him better than the other one, so he can stick around. Yeah, and then we were sort of waiting to find out whether Reneshi and Renamala were going to join us for the second leg of our underground stint, and it seems like they're on board, so I imagine we're setting off sometime very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And the further we get from that hive of weird vampire things, the better. And the closer we get to finding my brother, the better.
Makes sense. All right. So let's since somebody's name was taken in vain, let's switch over to Renamala and find out how she's doing.
You're Renamala.
My sister.
No.
Okay.
Oh yes, I keep doing that. I'm going to put a little yellow sticky on the edge of the monitor. Not Mala. Okay. Renee.
We have been meaning to improve the wheelchair access for the diary room. That is a concern.
Renishi. Thoughts, recent events, odd, cutesy character observations, the usual stuff, you know.
I mean, the kid is creepy. I mean, that was obvious from the beginning. Right?
I'm not a kid.
Oh my god, I meant the other kid. But why are you always in the diary room?
It's nice and quiet usually.
Go get me like a coffee or something.
I'm sorry,
Go
did
sit
you
in a
just?
tree, mate.
If there were any, I would.
Hey, listen, I, for all intents and purposes, was not going to come any further on the journey, but I guess I left it up to fate. Not really. I guess it was, having slept on it, it was pretty one-sided. But it's fine. Now I'm coming on the journey. So I don't think I'm going to kill Alexandria. I have to see. The kid is weird. Okay, great. Very powerful. Very scary. Creepy. But okay. Spider. I don't know what you want me to say. I was topless at one point. Why was that a thing?
I was exercising. You barged into my room.
Yes, the way that every time I would come into Marla's room, she'd be like, I'm exercising, and throw something at me. Yeah, sure.
I was literally doing pull-ups as you came in.
What are you doing in my diary room? Get out.
Since you seem over-eager to be commentating on everyone else's commentating, why doesn't Alexandria let us know what she's thinking?
I'm thinking a lot of things.
Good one.
Thanks. Apparently the diary room is not secure, so I don't know how much I want to say in
I'm
here.
outside the door.
Yes, I can. I know you're outside the door. I can hear you. You're not very quiet.
I mean, Mysel's inside our head, so it doesn't really matter.
Mysel had better not be inside my head. I told him to stay out. And why is the diary room my bedroom? Also, Mysel is a strange child. That was it. I don't know what else to say. That's sort of all that needs to be said. Mysel is a strange child and has a friend we don't know anything about. Somehow Mysel got underground to here, which took us at least a week to get to. And he managed to make it here in 3 days from wherever it was he was before, which might have been here. He won't tell us, or we don't know. I think I need to drink more. Or less. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't say, for someone... I had a commentary made that after watching last week that it seemed to be that Mala was drinking all the time, and then Alexandria says, "I think I need to drink more." Do you understand Mala better now?
Yes, I do. Yes.
All right, Mysel. How are things with you?
Oh.
Learned, discovered, or want to comment upon?
Oh, well, it's been really nice getting to meet the other four. Thinking about it, it's been a while since I've just talked with people like this. It's nice. And we were able to help when the attack happened, and Spider said not to go, and that's reasonable, but I felt like we could probably help from a distance, and we did. So that was good. But we're getting ready to leave now, I guess. And we've had a lot of conversations with the others. I had a good conversation with Spider. But they obviously want to know about my friend. I don't know how that's going to go.
We really want to know.
I know.
What? I stepped into everyone else's. Why not?
I hope. I'm sure it'll go okay. Like in the end, I mean, you never know, meeting new people and all that. So I'm sure it'll be fine. Also, side note, check out this art.
It's so good. It's so good.
That adorable child who
How can a child that cute be so creepy?
Definitely not inside your head. That's not.
He's a psychic warlock. That's how.
That's not an accurate statement, technically.
No, Sonya.
Technically. I'm afraid.
Yeah, Muffin, it's really funny you said that about Last Airbender because it's one of those. I've been accused. I've had a lot of people over the past 2 weeks of me running games say, "Oh, you're doing this cool scene from this movie, or this cool scene from this anime," and I have to look at them blankly and go, "No, never seen."
There are no original ideas, mate.
I'm flattered you think I'm that cool, but no.
That's me with my child clients.
Okay, well, I mean, I could have said Game of Thrones instead of Avatar: The Last Airbender in this particular case.
Yeah, actually, I would have gotten that one better because while I didn't actually watch any of that, I read the first book and it just irritated the shit out of me. I'm not a fan of his writing, but I much prefer his wild cards.
Right.
But yeah, no, for some reason, just Game of Thrones, the novels drove me batty. But yeah, so
Definitely not for everyone.
Constantly about dragons and nipples and stuff that I vaguely understood the plot line.
That, in
It's
fact,
funny.
was my first sex tape.
Whenever nipples are involved, I don't need to understand anything else.
That's it. Sam's done.
There is a child present. How dare you?
I'm sure the
Was
child
not in character.
I'm sure the child has experienced nipples. That's not like I feel like people get so head up about kids and bodies, and I just
Very sad. It's absolutely.
You're not wrong.
I spent the first 8 months of my life just
attached to one.
safe deep in nipples, all right? And therefore,
And then you thought, I'm staying here.
I'm doing this for the rest of my life. I shouldn't have decided before a stream.
North Americans. I was gonna say anyone. It's the whole neo-Victorian thing that's been imported into Western culture. It just drives me batty. But let's get back to the game. So, you folks, I think the plan.
Early in the morning, before anyone else is awake, Alexandre would like to find Mysel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where he is, but I would like to find him. And drag him into my room to braid his hair.
Sure.
Actually, someone else's hair without consent.
I know, but have you seen it?
Wow.
Have you seen it?
Wow.
She'd ask, but
What you sound like right
it's
now?
an ask. I know. It's an asking.
I'm not. Like, I don't know how long that would take. There's a lot of hair.
You
There's a lot of hair on
have
this
no
small child.
idea how fast I can braid.
Mad skill, right?
Mad skills, really fast.
I imagine, because it occurred to me like after the show, it's like, I don't know if Mysel has a place to sleep.
The floor.
There'd be like a comfortable chair somewhere, and he's kind of made like a nest for himself with like his jacket as like a blanket and his bag as like a pillow. He looks very comfortable. Like he's like, yeah, this is fine. This is a comfortable sleep.
Well, doesn't involve something trying to dribble on me.
He doesn't. We think. If you ask me like I want to like braid your hair, he sort of says, if you want, that's totally fine. How do I put this? It might not be worth the effort.
But does your hair drop out and regrow every day?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to braid your hair.
Okay. There's an air of like, it's easier to do this than explain.
I'm so ready for his hair to just fall out and just...
He just molts and regrows it overnight.
Every time you finish a braid, the comes off. It's like, okay, this is getting weird.
We go to meet the friend, and the hair stands up and says, "Okay, firstly, you didn't ask my permission."
I have fear. I have fear now, where I did not have fear.
Just yeah, no, not dragon, Medusa. I mean,
Medusa wasn't one of the guesses, funnily enough.
By anyone. Not even one.
No one expects the Medusa. Come on.
I think that was the appropriate sound effect just at that moment.
Funnily enough, in the first campaign I ran for Chantel, her character's lover got killed by a Medusa.
Yes,
Oh,
and then
no.
my character almost got killed by a Medusa too, if you recall.
True. That's true.
Same Medusa. It was a day.
And then in my first campaign, Shawnee played a Medusa.
I did, yes.
It's all coming full circle.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make some changes. 1 second.
No. 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 No, no, please.
My character's name is now Snake, not Spider. We just need to make some alterations to the art.
Right.
Just draw on the... Yeah, fix it.
All right, where were we?
Okay. Why is it a problem? She's gonna start braiding and then ask why it's a problem. Like she's getting started.
Because I mean, let's be. No matter how mad her mad skills are, it's a lot of hair. You'll be here for a while. You may as well talk about it.
Basically.
Well, it doesn't fall out. That would be crazy. But how do... I guess it kind of resets itself, it seems.
I'm sorry, what?
Not like all the... This is one of the things that will make sense later.
I don't
What?
think anything that you just said makes sense.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm going to braid your hair and we're going to get you clothes and then we can go.
I have clothes.
Yes, I know. We're going to get you nicer clothes.
These aren't... Okay.
You're using it as a blanket, so I'll make sure it's still big, but at least big but fitted for when you're actually wearing it.
Oh, well, that's just because this is warm. It's also protective. Taps a section, you hear like a... It's definitely like... There's a degree of armoring.
Okay.
It's not safe out there sometimes.
I agree with you. Okay. Just keep braiding. What? Please no, KJ. It does not retract. I don't want it to retract. That just be terrifying. Just be terrifying.
The actual
Like letting go of a
fear
tape
in
measure.
Chantel's voice. Like there was a moment of full fear there.
I guess I'm going out. I feel like it's like genuine. It's genuine hair fear now. Oh, it's all of those nightmares that people of color have with hair. It's just now. It's just happening right now, and I'm scared.
I'm laughing with you, trust me.
Why is La Chanson afraid of your magic?
The song is afraid of my magic?
He doesn't like it.
I don't understand.
I don't either, so I'm asking.
Oh. I don't know.
Where's your magic from?
Me? I guess. I've never really thought about it in that way.
Who are all these people in the room? What's this?
I think we're hearing that through the walls.
Okay.
It's a busy building.
Thin walls.
There's a lot of people staying here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was always something I could just, not in the capacity, but like the potential was always there. I could kind of always do some stuff. I've over the years worked on, control, I guess, honing what I can and can't do. And there's still some things I'm trying to work on that I think I can do, but I haven't yet.
Over the year, you're
Worked out.
12.
12 is a number of years. More than 2.
Yes, but you spend like, I don't know, 6 years learning how to like walk and talk and things like that.
Sure, but I can do that now.
Yes, but
I
you
had
can,
it's freed up a lot of time.
you can also read people's minds.
Yeah, part of it was like doing it on accident isn't good.
No.
So you kind of want to get a hold of that quickly.
But you're 12.
Yeah, people were very adamant that I didn't read their minds without their permission.
Yes.
And so when I was doing it without meaning to, it was incentive to learn how to not do that.
I see. And you've always been able to do it?
Well, I guess to an extent, like I've always been blind, but it wasn't a problem, which I guess was kind of the first indication
What?
that I was going to say different, but weird works as well, I guess. Not everyone liked that.
What's it, you're blind?
Well, that I'm different, weird, specifically. People don't necessarily take well to
No.
the weird psychic kid.
People don't take well to anything that is different.
Yeah, but different, comparatively, you've all been great.
You don't mind being called creepy.
I mean, it is kind of creepy. It's an accurate word.
I suppose.
I mean, that's just expressing that feeling of unsettling or feeling off-put. And I can see how I do that to people. And some people don't react, and people obviously react to that in different ways. So I appreciate that you've been really nice about it.
Okay. Oh, okay. You're strange. I think.
I mean, everyone is in the end. Everyone's different and unique. Which means everyone's kind of weird.
So everyone is uniquely creepy.
I don't know if I'd say creepy, but like people talk about normal. But I've met a lot of people. I've not met anyone normal because it's subjective. It changes depending on where you are and who you're with, both on a small scale and on a large scale. One person's normal is just another person's weird.
You're 12.
That is true, yes.
Why aren't you like, I don't know, climbing trees or digging holes or 12-year-old stuff?
Didn't really have normal upbringing, I guess.
But you said you lived with people.
I met a lot of people and I stayed with some of them for a while, but usually had to move on. And not everyone wants you to stay for extended a period of time.
You're 12. Why would they let you leave?
Well, let, not necessarily always the correct word. Make.
Why would they make you leave? I keep saying that, but it's very confusing to me because you're so young.
Well, you know how I said that you've been really great about me being weird and creepy?
Yes?
Well, that puts you leaps and bounds in front of a lot of people. Not everyone reacts well. In fact, particularly early on, a lot of people reacted really badly.
How badly?
I learned really quickly to hide my powers until they were strong enough that I could use them to look after myself.
I'm sorry you had to do that.
Thanks. I mean, it's okay. I turned out all right. And like I said, I've met a lot of people. Got to be friends with many of them. Got to help even more.
I don't understand.
Which part?
It's a 12-year-old meeting a lot of people and helping a lot of people. You have little legs.
Yeah, I
Also,
know.
your friend can fly, so
There is that.
that helps.
And he's better at explaining it. At least initially, I guess. It makes more sense. Usually it helps if he explains it first, and then from that, you then ask questions that I'm better able to answer. Helps me remember the answer, I guess.
I am very concerned.
I know. I'm sorry.
She just largely braids in silence from then. We should find you clothes.
Okay.
At least so you have more. going on a hunt for 12-year-old clothes that can act like a blanket but still look good.
So, what you're really saying is a really trendy-looking poncho, a comfortable shirt, and baggy pants. Got it.
That is exactly what I'm saying. And then some boots.
Yeah, good hiking boots, non-optional.
Yes.
Need proper ankle support and steel toe, otherwise you just get and steel shanks. You just get messed out, right?
Yes. Now we'll see how long it takes until your hair resets.
Well, I appreciate it for now.
Okay. What do you mean? Okay. Okay. I'm drinking, but I'm fairly sure Alexandria would as well if wine were available.
Keeps an eye out for a hip flask.
Sorry, just DM wants to brag for a moment. I think so. Someone used their special ability Quick Draw to pull their hip flask in the middle of a scene the other night.
That's amazing.
I def right now. So yeah. So you folks wind up toddling around the street. Are you taking anybody else with you, or is it just you folks? Is it just you two, or are you just heading out in search of clothing?
I mean, we would, if anyone's around.
All right. Well, that's what I'm asking.
If anyone is like just around at breakfast, Alexandra would be like, "He needs clothes. I'm going to get him clothes. You could come get clothes if you want."
All right. Yeah, sure. Is anybody going, or is it just these two? I'm just gonna say the two sitters.
I mean, there's also Mala. I thought that was you responding as Mala. I was like, oh, okay.
The two sisters sitting on both sides of the same table, each of them looking at reading a book. Both of them look over at you, both back at the book.
Well, I look at them and I say, "Is it all right for the two of them to walk around here with no accompaniment?"
Mala will shrug. As long as they're wearing Dashamali colors, they'll be left alone. Just keep the sashes somewhere, right? No, I mean, the whole point of this town is that all the little shenanigans that go on, everywhere else don't hear officially. Yeah, 2 o'clock in the morning in an alley. Well, yeah, what happens in the alley stays in the alley, but at this time of day, Dashamali colors no little mess with you.
Okay. Well, I guess we're... Bye.
All right, so you two head out for a stroll around. So glancing at the map, the market square is, you've got the old town square, and then down to the southeast, just in front of the Oplietsa embassy, there's another square. That area is pretty much sort of the fashion district, if you will. And there's a lot of the equivalent, the buildings around that area are the equivalent of boutiques, and the square is filled up with hawkers, basically selling the equivalent of factory settings, which they've neatly, either hand mended or have just decided, screw it, we'll just sell it for, enough to cover our costs and eke out a living. So there's a variety of different options in terms of quality and fashion. Lots of people want your attention because, the Oplietsa and the Dashamali are two prestigious households with expense accounts. So, lots of people would love to have you wearing their brands. And again, you're treated to this very, I think it was Nadine had commented, this very Arabic sort of way of doing business of, if you, every time you stop to chat with someone about price, they start basically near their feet in terms of, oh no, obviously you're Dashamali. We couldn't dare charge you what this is worth. It would be a gift to us to have you wearing our clothing in public and that sort of thing. And then you're sort of expected to do the polite thing, which is say, oh no, we couldn't rob you like that, and try and argue the price upwards, right? And so it's this meeting in the middle of slightly above the sticker price to prove that the Dashamali are a worthwhile household, that and will take well and spread their largesse and pouvoir around. Whether or not Alexandria would buy into that game and just take the bargain basement price, it's entirely up to you. But like I say, you've seen this process before elsewhere. Particularly the few places you've stayed, or any time you guys have bought for a meal, it almost invariably starts out with Mala basically taking out the Dashamali emblem that she has, putting it on the table, and then immediately, oh, your meals are free, the stay on the house is free, and then Mala trying to basically argue for the next 5.5 minutes about don't be so damn stupid, take my money. Okay.
Alexandria would refuse to pay anything but what clothes are worth. So if they look like they're good quality, she's going to pay for good quality clothing.
So there's nothing here which would challenge your wealth level, to be honest. What you're shopping for is basically child's roughhousing clothing. It'd be different if you were equipping him for the grand ball or something, right? But there's a lot of one older gentleman kind of glances at my cell, kind of looks him up and down, walks into the back, comes back with basically a pre-done outfit. That'll fit you. Just measured him by eye. Yeah. And it's perfectly color coordinated set of the equivalent of denim and Kevlar, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Denim and Kevlar coming this summer.
Standard for children. Like, look,
standard children's roughhousing clothes.
But yeah, it was just the process. Alexandria's used to tailors going through this entire performative business about waving a tape measure around for 4 minutes just to go get something marked size 7, right? Whereas this old fellow just kind of looked at my cell, looked at Alexandria, looked back at my cell, hang on, went out back and literally came back with a hanger with a complete outfit. The classic, a good comfortable poncho, baggy shirt with a vest. Baggy pants and a good set of boots, and that'll fit you. And he was right. He just banged first try. So I think that's...
She would pay extra, because that's impressive.
And yeah, like I said, it's actually good quality clothing. It's got some armor value to it. It's relatively comfortable. The poncho basically has got 2 sets of buttons on it instead of 1. So you can actually take it apart into 2 pieces if you want to use it as a pair of blankets. Sun hats aren't a thing down here, but there's a dapper little cap that goes on, because caps are a thing that got imported from the surface, and so cap fashion rage. So he's got this sort of the classic Andy cap fold over, right? Very fashionable for young fellas.
When his hair resets, that cap would be unwearable.
Yes, absolutely. That's just not going to fit under usual configuration. But don't tell the old fellow that. He figures he's done a good job.
When I was in high school, I grew my hair out, partly because, given that I basically have similar hair to my sword, but it initially goes into an afro before just going and because the hair length rules for guys was specifically about passing eyebrows or touching collars, I was just like, suck it. But there was a point when, because you had to wear your hat once you had as part of the thing, it was just sort of perched on top of hair. I'm just being like, technically wearing it.
It works.
Then if someone got really pissy about it, I just stopped pronging it out and let it curl back in. Everyone thought I had a haircut. And then a week later, I just went back to doing it. They legitimately changed the rules the year later.
Wow. Look what you did.
I enacted change.
You enacted social change that is socially against Afros.
I made it more authoritarian.
You
Wait.
made it more
Oh, no.
authoritarian. That's what you.
Oh no.
You ruined.
To be clear, they made it more authoritarian because of you. That's not the
Yeah,
same thing.
that's
That
true.
is
That's
true.
true.
That is true.
That is true. On the
I was-
way back, Alexandri's been doing some thinking and has the question.
Oh, good. Wait, for me or the song?
No. For my soul. Wait, your hair resets.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Reset isn't the right word. I don't.
Does all of you reset? Or just your hair?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if I want to know more.
I don't know why. I guess. Or I don't fully understand why. And it's difficult to remember sometimes because there's a lot to remember. So sometimes I need like a reminder to trigger the correct memory. No. Piece of information. I'm not explaining this well.
No. No, you're not, and I'm very concerned. I hope your friend is
I think it will make more sense.
okay.
Well, I don't know if it'll make sense, but it'll be. Hey, that
all had
buster
that.
go away? It'll be
Could
a
someone shut
reason.
up that damn Kazuki player?
Having fun pushing buttons here. My apologies.
All that tech in those Kazuki boxes. Is your friend older?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Well,
What do you mean yes,
Yes.
and no?
well, he's definitely older, but yes. Like he's older. Yes.
Oh. mhm, mhm. Let's get the others and go and meet your friend.
Okay.
We're back.
He does look like there's a legitimate, like, he's just like, not upset, but just like disappointed in himself for not being better able to answer those questions, I guess.
It's fine. You're a child. We're back.
But
Awkwardly confused by everything.
All right. So yeah, the place is not really busy, not really not busy. It's kind of weird. It's early. You guys have been out and shopping. The place is kind of a few people in. There's a whole pack of people you don't recognize hanging around. What I mean is that they just don't fit in. There's always sort of this. What's the best way for it? some places look like they're decor. You walk into a pub and you look around and there's just always, okay, this is a suit bar, or okay, this is a fern bar, or whatever, right? Or it's a dance club. And for lack of a better way of putting it, you folks are going to, and I think Spider, because he's just perpetually omni-observant, will be the first person to clue in that there's about 5 or 6 folk hanging around here that just don't blend in. They're trying to blend in, but it's kind of like asking, the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, JVD, and that era of action heroes, to put on ratty clothing and like beggars in a corner. They're just really obviously not beggars.
Are they ebon elves?
No, I mean that was sort of the first thing that drew your attention, was the fact that they're all Skysiders. They're and like I say, it looks like the cast of an 80s action movie, who've decided that they've been suddenly showed up and found out they were being recast into a fantasy movie as the extras in the corner. So they stand out like a sore thumb. Their clothing doesn't fit very well. They're all desperately trying to look like, hey, we do this all the time, as they drink stuff that clearly doesn't suit their taste palette. And is, I think, by Spider's estimation, the worst possible attempt at urban camouflage he has uniquely ever seen.
I lean over to Marla and I'm like, what do you think about the Expendables over there?
I've just been waiting to figure out who they're here to ambush, he says.
I hate to say it, but it might be some friends of ours.
She kind of looks at, let's see, she takes out one of her wax tablets, does some quick math. I think I'm down to 1,100 at this point. I'll put 300 on it being the creepy kid.
I'm not sure whether you already know that there's a bounty on Alexandria, so I'll take your bet.
So yeah.
And under the table, I will surreptitiously load my crossbow.
He will do this. No, it's just getting to the good bit.
So yeah. So like I say, yeah, yes, thank you. I couldn't remember the name of the movies, but yeah, it's basically the cast of The Expendables. If you can imagine that lot all trying to act like they're the background cast of Lady Hawk, right? It's just not working for them. So okay, that's funny. Yeah, Sam. Yep. So yeah. So you folks will return. Is Miso wearing his new clothes, or is he carrying everything in a precious bundle?
No, he's wearing the new clothes. What the others put in his bag. Jacket might have been like rolled into like a knapsack, sort of like rolled into a little thing and sort of stuck on top or something.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So as you two walk in, I think Maul is going to very pointedly take her book, turn it upside down, and stare at the corner and drum her fingers on the table. Like, are you really going to be this stupid right now? And they all, for lack of a better way of putting it, they all look at you two walk in, all look at each other, look at something in front of them, look back at you two, shake their heads and go back to what they're doing. Which is drinking stuff they really don't like the taste of.
Huh. I guess this one's a draw.
She kind of looks at them, looks over at you two like, are you wearing a discount? No, you're not wearing a discount. He shrugs, I guess so. Someone's in for a bad
But
day.
if you guys didn't win the bet, do I win the bet? I feel like I should win the bet. Give me the money. Give me.
How that works at all. You didn't play, you don't get to profit. Yeah.
What's profit?
No, nothing at all. New traveling clothes. Oh, new haircut. Excellent. Very nice.
Not cut, just braided.
Wow. Tight braid.
Had to be done.
I thought you would have taken a lichen clipper to his hair to get started.
No, it takes a long time to grow hair. It's that long, so I'm not gonna cut it.
All right. So we had discussed being on the road this morning. Are we still interested in that?
Yes. Do we need to talk to the ambassador?
On the way out, we'll put by the embassy, leave a message saying that we've set off, just so that she knows. We don't need to talk to her directly. We literally leave a note at the door, as it were. It'll cross her desk when it's important.
How quickly could a letter get from here to the Shining Capital?
If we drop it off at the embassy, and they think it's important, it would be, fast courier 3 days back the way we came. If they catch the timing right, it would go up to the surface the same night. And then from there, fast courier, probably by boat down the coast, maybe, be there in less than 10 days, if everything lines up right. Call it 10 to 15.
I might send a letter as well.
Let your mom know you're safe.
Something like that, yes.
Okay. Yeah. When you're done writing, let us know, and I'm gonna head up to my room and start getting everything packed and organized, and we'll be on our way.
Okay. I will give you that letter. I've written it already.
Fantastic. All right. So, you folks will get yourself packed up, organized, and be on your way by. I'm going to say it took you two all morning to do your shopping and make sure that you were getting the best possible set of clothes and what have you. Because I know Alexandria is exacting about that sort of thing, just as much out of a customized habit as anything else.
Yes.
So folks will carry on. My question to you, is there anything in particular, as you folks are going to be traveling, that is high on your agenda? Is there something you folks want to be worrying about, looking for, what have you, or are you just making your way as fast as you can?
Alexandria is going to go over to Spider.
Okay.
Spider, I don't know all magic. And maybe I should ask Reneshi about this, but Mysel's hair resets.
What?
I don't know how long it takes. I'm sort of waiting because I braided it, but he said that it will reset at some point.
Can you hear yourself right now?
Yes, I can hear myself. I know it sounds stupid.
Did you have some of that Ebon Elf drink back before we left?
I did, but that's not the point. It's not that, Spider.
Well, we're going to meet this friend of his soon enough, and we've been assured that he will solve all of our mysteries regarding yon creepy blind kid.
Yawn.
Okay. Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah? Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about Lucas, but not much we can do except get there. And I don't know how to teleport, so unless somebody turns up in a crack of thunder, we're going the right way.
I guess so. I wonder if that's how Mysel got here.
I think he flew.
Yes, he probably flew. I don't understand anything that's going on. And I don't like it.
Did No, you know what? Never mind.
What?
I just don't want to touch on a sore spot, but were you ever prepared for this possibility with Chevalier?
No.
Well, I'm sorry for what happened. Not in the sense of like, sorry, taking responsibility. Like, sorry, yeah, okay.
I know. Yeah. I'm sorry too. For V and for Lucas just being gone. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Lucas is very capable of making his own bad decisions. I don't think either of us need to take responsibility for that, but I do need to find him.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I guess I'm glad that it's still that we're going the same way, you know, because it's good to have company.
Mm-hmm. It is. Well, yes. Alexandra just drops back.
So where was I? Reason 483 that I am better than Alexandria. Well, is obviously because
Why did you start at 482?
Michael, listen, Michael, we're gonna have to we're gonna work on this. Okay? We're gonna work on this.
Oh. Oh. Sorry. You're doing a thing.
It's fine. It's fine. I should have warned you.
Oh, good.
Oh, Alexandria, hi.
You are not better than me.
It could be proven otherwise.
So I'm going to ask you a very serious question while you two are trying to murder each other politely back there. This is, which is we've got two options. One is to the safest in quotation marks is that and longest route is to go via the river through Oblietsa territory. Now, the whole point of this business is that that should be perfectly safe. Everyone knows we're coming and going. We shouldn't have any accidents. There's there's a little riverside town we'd stop at, probably the fair. There's usually a boat of some kind leaving at least every other day at the worst. It's a long pole upriver, but that's okay. I mean, literally, they'd be going that way anyways. The point that would get us to Vialathar relatively quickly, and by relatively I mean it'd take twice as long, but we'd only have to do half as much walking. You don't have to do much walking on a boat, as it were.
Twice as long doesn't really suit our purposes, MacLeod.
Well, and that's why I'm asking. The shortcut is about the same distance, but nobody owns it. It's unpatrolled, yeah. So let's just say, given recent events, it might be a little more tense than you're willing to put up with. I'm giving you folks the choices about which way we take. We've got, a couple before we get to the branch. Everything that we're going to be traveling up to the branch is patrol. So, and the Oblietsa are all about showing up the Dashamali. So I don't expect any trouble. In terms of having something with Fang's teeth and a Slurpee bit dropping on top of Alexandra while she sleeps.
Sorry, what?
Well, it's perfectly normal behavior down here. These things happen all the time, right? She smiles at you.
I'd rather they didn't.
Well, that would be the entire point to staying to the patrolled area. But like I say, if we head pretty much due north at the branch, then that's a little bit less certain. That route, as I say, is unpatrolled. So if speed is of the essence, then we can take the shortcut.
You're muted.
So if this is a vote situation, but I want to get there as quickly as possible.
Mala is going to smile sweetly at Spider in that way that Spider has come to recognize as she's got lots of good cards. And we'll say, well, you see, we're just the guides. You two are setting the priorities.
Yeah, I wasn't including you in the vote, mate.
Is it safe to take Mysel there?
Maul is going to look at Mysel and say, is it going to be safe?
He's reaching for something that was probably almost certainly like a meat trap. That then he looks away and it scuttles off.
Did you say the meat trap runs away from the small child?
Runs away, not flee, as in leaves.
It just wanders off.
In a hurry?
No. If two people had a nice conversation and then said goodbye.
Yeah, Maul.
I would have preferred if it had run away. I would have preferred it had run away.
That awkward moment where Maul is about to say, "Don't touch." She's going to.
He'll be fine.
Mala, did the child just talk to the meat trap?
Maul is, in all seriousness, going to look at Alexandria and say, "I now can't tell which one I'm supposed to shoot, him or the thing."
Well,
he looks a bit confused, and it was like, there was better food. Might eat people here. Doesn't even like people.
I'm starting to think Knife why.
There's just
okay. So I have a feeling Mysel's going to be fine. You two decide where you want to go.
okay. Well, Spider wants to find Lucas, and he wants to do it fast. So I guess we're doing is a very dangerous thing.
Button fast.
I hate you.
I really thought I was going to be able to hold it there. I didn't. I wasn't. I looked at Sophie and I was like, I'm going to be able to do it.
Thank you so much. Yes, let's go.
Oh dear.
Wisdom of having put you two onto the same set, and then there's moments like this, and then I'm convinced it was just a bad idea.
I I'm usually really good at holding things together.
I adore this. Oh my god!
It's not fair.
I'm glad I showed up.
Let's find Lucas and be as safe as we can while the 12-year-old talks to meat traps.
I didn't talk. It's fine.
Mala casually tosses her puck, teleports across a gap, looks back that you people could just jump over, but kind of looks up back at Mysel and says, "You need to stop being so pedantic. You know bloody well what we meant."
Mysel, speaking of, I mean, when's your buddy gonna come and say hello? We're well out of the city now.
He looks legitimately surprised. Oh, yeah. Oh, like looks around. Where are we?
Well, my soul is sitting inside the mouth of a meat trap.
There was stuff in its teeth.
Is it you?
No.
Just 1 second. So, oh gosh, how to explain? I'll tell you what, just because I think it's funny, could everyone roll me a d6 and tell me what we get? I'm having problems deciding what I want to do with it, so I'll blame it.
6.
5.
2.
All right. That's a mostly positive outcome. So I think you guys have basically, it's about noon, quote, about noon, which is to say, someone with a mechanical timepiece just heard a bing noise. Reasonable that Mala's probably got the equivalent of a wind-up clock as part of her chair that about once just makes a loud ticking noise about every 15 minutes as a method of knowing, okay, so by here we ought to be there, okay, so I think you're going to have the place you've gotten to is a fairly modest sized cave. Again, you folks have been sort of up and downing, lefting and righting. There have been this is a trade route. It is well worn. There is easily functionally the whole bit of thousands of travel feet sort of thing, right? You guys have covered a lot of ground, this area, as I say, is well walked. So you've been going for about, call it 4 hours. The passage, the tunnels wobbles between, say, 5 heights of a person to 8 heights of a person. So not really smooth, kind of undulating. It's about twice that wide on average. Most of the time, the road is sort of this raised piece of stone ultimately, because it's all out of the cavern. Everything around the road is the equivalent of broken stone, shale, what have you. There are going to be stalagmites, stalactites all over dotting the place. There's going to be every once in a while you'll pass this, odd, this steaming hunk of rock that's got vapor pouring out of it of some kind. There'll be at least one spot where you go by a little mushroom grove, or lichen grove, which is glowing, in bioluminescence, and it's going to have its own little ecosphere of things trying to murder each other. There's going to be at least one moment where Mala is going to, Mala will politely make a hand gesture, knowing that Spider is incredibly attentive to these things, and then do a thumb up action. Spider will look upwards to see, like I say, something about the size of an alligator with like 8 legs, looking down at them, licking its lips, and then kind of.
Do alligators have lips?
Will make a little faster gesture, so everyone picks up the pace again. Don't alarm Alexandria, but look up. And so you'll come out into a fairly decent sized cavern, actually. Well, small by comparison to some you've seen. It's about half the size of a football pitch. Yeah. So it goes up almost twice as high as it was before. It swells outwards about 3 times, the width of the road you've been following. It's 50 odd meter, long, 150 feet long. So it's a decent space. There's going to be a little waterfall that's pouring. It's not, waterfall's the wrong, it's more like a perpetual rainfall. It's not a contiguous solid mass of water that's pouring down. It's like this 20 square meter chunk of the roof leaks. And so there's just water sheeting down in all of these droplets, and filling a depression, and that's overflowing, and it runs across the path ahead of you and flows out through a gap in the wall. And because there's water here, and the water, by the way, is boiling. There's steam curling off of it. So all around that is glowing lichen, mushrooms, the whole 9 yards. And again, little ecosphere of things desperately trying to murder each other in the name of food. Mala says it's pretty, but we'll be on this side of the road over here. The vapor coming up out of the pond is a little hard on the head. It's volcanic underneath, so it's not just steam, it's stuff bubbling up from bubbling up from the hot spot too. So if it doesn't make you see things, it'll give you one devil of a headache. So we'll stay on this side of the road and let the critters have the lunch in peace. Oh, and no swimming.
I will not be swimming.
Yeah, Mala said that in an absolute straight face. I think with the amount of cards that she and Spider have recognized, that's about as close as she ever gets to bluffing. She fully expected no one to go swimming, but she just had to say it anyway.
That's good.
So yeah, picnic blankets, snack boxes, whatever, breakout rations, and you guys are having your conversation.
So where's your friend?
Yeah, Mysel has just legitimately remembered that was a thing we were supposed to do.
What do you mean this? Okay.
I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Wait. You have to call your friend to be here?
Kind of.
10 cents is imaginary. I've been going in on the bed. Quick, come on, let's find them.
My fear is that he's imaginary, but he also
I'm not talking
has
to you, Alexandra.
magic.
You're with myself.
Mysel leans over and goes, what happens when it's both?
Why are you here?
I'ma prepare a
Everyone
spell?
was whispering.
Okay, that's fair enough.
What spell can I prepare?
Okay.
Well, I'm a
Quick
friend.
question, Maisel, before you summon the old great friend. Does your friend mean us harm, and will your friend cause us harm?
Why would I bring him if he meant you harm?
I just have to check. Because I'm a little scared of your friend.
Like I said, I'm not entirely clear on all of the details, but my understanding is that in broad terms, we've been sent to help.
Yeah, mostly you have to understand it's entirely possible that you are a meat trap.
You did converse pretty, like, it's like, whilst it wasn't, you
A
know,
moment where he seems to be having like an existential crisis inside. It's like,
am I?
I think Apollo will look politely at the sky and say, I was trying not to say that.
I don't think that's the case, but if it is, I'm sorry.
You have
Very elaborate trap.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Mala, I think, is kind of rubbing her forehead, going, I don't believe I fell for that. I was supposed to get about that. It should have been obvious. It's not going to end well. Do I want to bother loading? Probably.
Whatever can use
Okay,
it.
I'm going to step back. Maisel, you go ahead and do your thing.
I'm going to put my glasses on, but it's not because I'm trying to see if your friend is magical. It's just because I'm trying to see if your friend is magical.
Why? How are you getting
very
around without
magical.
your glasses on?
I took them off when we stopped moving.
That was silly. It's pitch black down here.
Yes, I know, but I get bored of glasses sometimes.
Oh,
I
so
miss
it's a
my own
fashion
face.
statement. is it?
Yes.
Okay.
What? Don't you miss your face sometimes?
You see your face?
No, but unencumbered face. Encumbered face.
Are you worried that we might miss your face?
Yes.
Yes. Astute observation, Spider.
It's accurate too.
Okay, Maisel, magic, let's go.
So Maisel, like, walks a little way from the group and then sort of like stops and he's like runs back and goes up to Alexandra and goes, "Thank you for the braids. I'm sorry that they won't stay around, but I enjoyed having them."
Oh no!
And then he sort of walks back, and then he sort of like, it's sort of like he's trying to gauge what is a comfortable distance for these people. Like, it's like, this is for your benefit. It's like, this is for like, not like safety, but just like comfort level. He's just like, I don't know, I'm not.
Safety distance.
I Chantel, I'm afraid. I don't know what
I
Alexandra
worked
is doing
out
right
what's
now.
going to happen, but I don't know what's coming yet.
No, that's why I'm afraid.
And then he sort of, he's like, he stands there and he's like, sort of takes a breath and he's just like, I realize this is me saying this, but this might get a little weird. Then at some point, it's like between blinks, his eyes go from the, green with cataract look to this like bright orange yellowy look.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then it initially looks like he's kind of like bending over until you realize he's actually kind of almost folding into himself.
Don't like it already. I don't. No. No.
And as this 12-year-old child
No. Disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Disagree.
folds into himself,
Hold it together.
unfolding, I guess, from the other side almost. Like as Maisel goes in, this other thing comes out.
I'm into it.
These long, clawed, scaly, dark sort of purplish blues, limbs comes out, and it's getting bigger, bigger as it does so.
Yes.
And then a tail. And then this sort of kind of sinuous lizard-like but serpentine as well, almost with like kind of almost like a feline musculature. And then finally, you see this guy.
The fucking dragon, right?
It's a fucking dragon.
So I'm just gonna say, I had no idea.
How many of us attack at once? just out of curiosity.
It size-wise, he's how many Chantels would he be?
Oh no!
That's too many Chantels.
Oh
You
no!
have to think
Don't
about how
ask
many
the
Chantels.
question.
Sort of as he's like standing there, and it's kind of like, you know, long and then up.
Yep.
It's like from like ground to head is probably a little more than 3 Chantels.
That's a lot of me.
You could have just said like the 3 of us stacked on top of each other.
No,
No,
because it's very
Chantel is the
specific. I'm
official
5'2".
using the measurement.
I am the measurement of Lost Worlds Archive.
One
So
Chantel.
Chantel.
That's going to be confusing for me. Sam and Chantel will get this, but the last campaign I was in, the unit of measurement was Jackson's, which is a very different.
That's like double me.
Very
That's
different.
like that's a Chantel and a half. There's no way we're not doing that.
I had a game once where it was Labrador, but it was large Labrador.
Sorry, what was that, Michelle? We missed that.
So yes, but the point is, you could write a conversion table. It's one measurement, 1.5 Chantels.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's 3/4 of a Chantel, and you know.
It's the Imperial Chantel measurement, of course.
It's the Imperial system over again.
Oh.
I am an Imperial Chantel. That is correct. Yes. I
There,
accept.
there's sort of like an end. Sorry,
hang on.
Imperial measurement is always based on the regent, right? So clearly that would be Queen Chantel. We have one Chantel as a frame of reference, and carry on.
This is correct. It's all correct. Thank you. Thank you.
Gonna get to the head now.
Oh, but I always knew that it was the case. I'm just glad everyone else is getting to the same conclusion as me. I am, in fact, a deity.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, back in the real world,
There's a dragon.
Spider.
Back in the real world, there's a dragon.
There's like sort of like the end to this whole sort of like unfolding of a dragon, where the wings kind of just like snap out, and it's quite impressive. There's a
Okay.
Spider looks at the siblings and says, "Well, fuck me sideways."
If we survive you up on that, says Mala. What the heck?
Okay.
So
It is good to finally meet the 4 of you.
Renation is gonna do like a turn in the like just a 360, just to reset herself. Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I searched ready. She does the 360. I am so out of here.
Isol didn't give us nearly enough room.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
I am Hiofon Russell, last of the great dragons. And I have been called.
I'm gonna need a minute. Several.
On that theme, I just everyone other than the dragon in the room might as well warm up your dice. I think there's only one rational response to this, which is a do not succumb to terror roll. I mean, you vaguely had this idea that maybe, you've all heard stories about dragons and the fact that they were worthy game for a group of giants and all that stuff. And then there's that thing in the room with, the hand-sized teeth and shit. You're all much smaller than giants, by the way, for those of you who've lost frame of reference. So...
How many Chantel's high is a giant?
I'm
kidding.
Yeah, I was actually going to work out the math, but then I figured, no, they don't want an answer to that question.
No, I don't want an answer to that question.
I think, as a minimum, I would like to see a will roll from all of you as a tone set, if you would be so kind.
Will specifically or resolve?
Resolve,
actually, like,
which is an active.
Yeah. Okay.
So sorry, was it will?
Will, yes. Yeah.
Oh no. Bad. Very bad.
I'm actually going to be rolling from Mala as well, because there's a lot of things seen down here. Holy crap, that's a new one. Yeah, there are things she was prepared for. This is not on the list.
14.
14, yeah, all right.
Go to 20, and I think there's just that part of Spider that can't get over the fact that he called it. It's just like, I know this is fucking terrifying, but I was right! Also, that's a dragon! Which is very cool.
I was right. Oh god, I was right.
That's a 9.
I will let you do with the I've just wanted those dice to hit the table as a method of expressing that some things are completely out of people's controls. You may do with the interpretation as you choose. All I will tell you is that a 10 is a common or average outcome. Okay. The scale, as it were, a 10 is an everyday outcome, whereas heroic would be a 20. So I will allow you to set appropriately what you think those dice tell you. Mala, on the other hand, the utterly inflappable Mala, I think, is taking turns. You're going to have this absolute Keystone Cop moment between she and Mala as they're collectively trying to hide behind each other. She rolled a 9 as well.
I think what's going to happen is she is going to go, no, this is fine. Not fine. Not fine, okay?
It's also nice to meet you. Do you prefer the full name, or is there like a shortened version that you might prefer?
This is an out of character question. Is dragon whose name I cannot pronounce?
Yolfon Russell.
You said it, so I'd be able to pronounce it again. I need it written down.
It is in
chat.
chat.
Oh, it is in the chat? Okay.
Here, Russell.
Yes. How are they speaking to us?
What language is he using?
As in, is it in my head? Is it out loud?
It'd probably be Elven.
Okay.
Okay.
But we've had London Elven and Texan Elven. This is a different Elven.
So what's the translation?
This is Scandinavian Elven.
Ahoy to thee.
Understandable, but it's I've not. Okay.
Yeah, I think the better way of putting it is this is the language before Elven.
Oh, good.
It's like
That's what I wanted to
ancient
hear.
Elven.
Yeah,
Also, like, sometimes
I think a better way of putting it is it's kind of the way that if you know enough French, you can sort of read Latin. And if you know, the Romance languages are all sort of tied to each other by commonality. This is like a close cousin of the language you speak and yet isn't. So I think there's going to be these odd gaps where he's going to say a word that's basically going to sound a lot like a dragon deciding that maybe chewing on a rock is fun, and then the rest of the sentence will make perfect sense.
there'd also probably be points where it's like, that was Ebon Elven. Now it's High Elf Elven. Now it's a different Elven, and now I don't know what it is.
Cool, great. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
But it's definitely out loud talking.
Alexandria would take a step back and just say, okay, so where does a 12-year-old go?
That is actually a difficult question. Technically, still here, but not here. Which I realize is not helpful. Mysel and I we are two different beings, but we are one being, and at the same time, we are nothing. All three simultaneously.
Yeah,
That didn't
Alexander, this one's all yours. All yours.
I'm not saying that he's Schrödinger's dragon child, but he's Schrödinger's dragon child.
What? Both in existence and not in existence, as long as we're
And the
afraid?
And the cat. Don't forget the cat.
And
I think
the
that's
cat.
I think that's the job of Mysel. I think Mysel's the cat.
Does that make the dragon the poison? Hang on.
Or the box.
All the socks.
Well, and don't forget the radium. You need the radium.
I keep doing that thing where I want to say something and then I realize it's a fucking dragon in front of me.
Yeah, if you don't look at the dragon part, it's easier.
Mala, you're clearly my sister because I'm doing the same thing.
The dragon lazily raises a hand and just points one at a time at each of you. It's like, Alexandre, Jasper, Renishi, Renamala. Correct?
Just tell me that's not a menu, says Mala.
Please, no. I don't eat elf flesh. Far too stringy.
I'm not an elf.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for you. I'm sorry.
He makes a noise which you can realize might be laughter.
It just sounds like a lion coughing.
Dragon monster also sounds like orcish war drums. So you know.
So, you're a friend of the song? Question mark?
I would not say friend. I was contacted by this song. A deal was offered. I accepted. Well, we accepted.
What is the
Cool.
deal?
Nice to have you on board.
No, what is the deal?
Well, I understand that you, pointing at Alexandre, and you, pointing at Jasper, have recently suffered losses, and you need a protector. I have been called and offered a great deal, so I will fill this role. There's a moment when there's like nothing happens, and he says, and this time in Draconic, really expected a bigger reaction from that.
Why is your name Giantkin?
So you speak Giantkin. Interesting. My name is not Giantkin. Giantkin used my name.
Whisper of the Wild, because I have to, not because I want to. And I have to, like, it's a have to in this particular situation. Alexandre wants to know, should I be running from this creature?
No.
Okay. Good to know.
Correct term is flee.
It's less flee and more cower.
This is the problem you see with the answers which only are allowed to have one word, because what the song really wanted to give you was a full sentence. No, you'll only die tired, but you only get the no, see, is the problem.
Yeah, I understand. I'm glad both of us understand that there is a problem with this.
He is legitimately sort of like at that point just being like, it's a dragon face, so like expressions are hard to read potentially, but like it is almost like he is legitimately like that. Wait, this is the result. Okay, not.
I think is going to literally put her hand up. I think it's the first time she has ever seen Mala divert anything. Just presume we're all in shock, and we'll either panic or laugh maniacally in about a minute and a half when we get past this point. Mala's going to look. Mala's kind of look. Put her head beside she, and I can't tell. Are we safe?
Yes.
No.
Okay, that was my impression too. Just checking.
Yes, we are.
To your song.
Yeah.
Your song doesn't like us.
Well, it has to, because you're leading us to where it wants us to go.
Your song is using us
Yes.
in the nicest way possible.
Yes.
It's not.
What happens after it's done using us?
I
And there's a
don't
dragon in our midst.
I don't know.
I mean,
That's not safe.
Well, why don't? Are you safe?
Oh, wait, to me.
Hmm?
Yeah. Too long a pause.
I don't.
Too long a pause, Alexander. Too long a
understand
pause.
Do you
what
plan
you
on?
mean.
Do you plan on eating them once we're out of here?
What? Why would I eat them?
I don't know. You said elves were stringy. I don't understand why
It
you're.
was a joke.
Okay.
You seemed nervous.
Okay. I think Reneshi's coming to it a little bit more. Hello, great and powerful dragon. You must.
It's just great.
Wait, you're not powerful?
No, the term is great dragon.
Oh.
That was. I was trying to be polite, but all right. Great dragon. You have to understand.
Elf.
Dragon elf or elf dragon?
No.
No,
You're
you're
not
the elf.
using his name, so he's calling you by what you are because you're calling him by what he is.
All right,
It's
we're going
not
by.
very polite at all.
EO, if the full version is too much for you.
Oh. No, of course not. I will as soon as I
Have fun,
hear
Russell.
von Raisel. Did I get that right? Like almost.
Close
Maul is
enough.
say, "You've got a wicked accent in Dragon. You know that?"
It's
Well, you
giant.
see, Marla, I've only seen it written.
Oh, if you're
Because-
speaking to him in Dragon, he's like, your pronunciation's terrible.
Good. Good. Let's go back to Ebonel. Okay. You have to understand, this is the first time we've ever seen a dragon, and therefore
It's the first time anyone's ever seen a dragon in living
I know,
memory.
I know,
Of course,
I
it's the
know.
first time we've seen a dragon. How cool is this?
Very cool. That's the word. It's a little overwhelming. Are you aware? This may come across as insensitive. Are you aware that there are no other dragons and that this is a very...
He called himself the Lost Dragon. Don't
I know.
poke the dragon.
I know, but maybe
alright?
that's a title. Who knows? Maybe it's like, I'm the last sorcerer to have been taught in this particular school. Last dragon of what? Dragons? Or...
Is that why you're an orphan? Are you the same as Mysel?
In that my parents have died, but that was a long time ago for both of us.
So Mysel is as old as you?
No, but he's much older than he seems. And he is also exactly what he seems.
It's funny because Maisel was all like, when my friend comes out, everything's going to make a lot more sense. And it hasn't.
It does, actually.
No, it really
does
does.
Mysel remember what's happening now?
Not as well as I would when he is out.
So that's why he doesn't know how he got here, because you got
No.
here.
I brought us to the edge of the city, but Mysel, well, it's easier for him to go unnoticed.
Interesting.
That's.
Is anyone else aware that you exist?
No. We long since have been forgotten. But that was mainly by design.
Just for your reference, all the giants are dead, right?
I am aware. I was there when they died.
Congratulations.
Are you the reason?
No.
Were you friends
Oh.
with them?
Do you
Reason
know
is the same for
anything about
anything.
history, Alexandria?
What?
I think he's talking about the giant kin. But to be fair, they only hunted the young and foolish. The rest died the same way all things do. With time.
Oh,
Right.
well, that's better, I guess, than the stories I heard as a kid.
He only hunts.
Don't say it out
the young
loud,
and
but it's sort of
few.
like losing a generation didn't help.
Yeah. I mean, you did say young and full. Anyway, let's not get pedantic.
The young and the foolish. Is that you? Maybe you should be afraid.
I don't know if that was two.
That was to she.
I'm being attacked from all sides.
It was a joke.
It feels like a joke, Alexandri.
I don't think we need to be afraid.
I think this is the nervous terror part of the discussion, so everyone keep in mind humor doesn't work the way you think it does right now.
Oh.
Spider's not terrified, but there's something going on.
Why did that sound like you were turned on by the dragon? Like that.
I mean,
Because that's Spider.
Yeah, you haven't watched every single episode of this campaign.
I mean, it's
but
both Spider
that
and it's
track-
Alexandri
It's
to an extent.
monstrous.
Like it's established law. It's established
All right,
law.
guys, it's been a great time. I'm out.
You should have seen the time we met a Naomi Campbell lion. Woo! Anyway. Yes. That response there. That response there. Yeah. Alexandra couldn't talk for
The
2 days.
Chippendale dancer lizard folk was my particular weakness.
I'm currently living in Spain without the S.
Enjoy it.
Alexandri, I appreciate that. This
If we're
wonderful...
going to die, I'm trying to make it entertaining.
No, I don't want to die. Don't want to die.
You want
okay?
to die in terror?
No, that's the opposite way I want to die. Hopefully, I will die in pleasure.
Oh.
Or reading a good book. Or both.
Oh, okay.
I want to
May
invoke
I
this.
ask?
You go first.
May I ask? Speaking to Hio or Heo?
Hey,
Yeah.
Thunder's,
Hio. Like Heo.
Ew!
Hey!
No.
it's your boy.
May I ask what your deal with the song was?
In return for my soul's service, the song has promised us something that we have been searching for quite some time.
That, yeah.
A means to return to as we were.
To separate your bodies.
Among other things.
To return to the time of dragons.
No,
To bring...
I meant that it is not just our bodies.
The separation of your mind, your souls, your existence.
Yes,
To both exist, rather than exist and not exist.
not exactly, but avoiding not existing is the main goal.
It's a good goal.
But you're the only one.
And
What would you do?
what would I do when I received this, if it is correct that your song can do as it has promised?
Yes? What would you do?
I would return. I would be returned to the cycle. And that is the goal. There is no what next. There is just that.
Is there still a cycle if there's only you?
The cycle is not me. The cycle is all things. We live, we die. The cycle continues. The time of dragons has long since ended. But my soul and I have been removed from the cycle for far too long. We need to be returned. Not exactly interested in finding out what happens if we don't.
How long have you been removed from it?
When this happened, the giants had not formed their little empire.
Oh. That is a very long time.
It was not what was supposed to happen. But I didn't exactly want that either.
So really what we should have been asking is, how long have you been 12, Maisel?
Yes.
It's not even the interesting question. I mean, what?
So,
Okay, so
but what happens if something that's been so far removed from the cycle goes back to the cycle?
Happening before. But I imagine we would return to our proper place.
I see.
good question. How long can you remain you, and before do you have to return to Maisel, or does Maisel have to return to you, or can you stay indefinitely in either person?
It is merely a decision of which physical form is present.
Okay.
And then Mala does a Mala, but you've known Mala to do this periodically, where she just... This is Mala dealing with stress. She gets completely has lost the picture analytical. Well, you can't fit down corridors that way, so it doesn't really matter how long he can last. He's going to have to go back to being Maisel.
Kind of just points at Marla and nods. You're muted.
But you flew here.
Not down that tunnel, he didn't, says Mala.
No. Move closer to your mic. We can't hear you.
No, not this way. But there are many tunnels, and it is so easy for another monster to get lost in the mix.
You have to say it that scarily, or is that just for us?
It's mostly for my own benefit.
So
That's what I thought, okay. So what exactly is your task? You get me to La Chanson? We need you to talk louder.
That is your task.
Yes.
But the song seems to believe you both need a protector, given how things have gone.
The GM would like a word. Please hold while I hit the experiment button. As Maisel, dragon, big scary thing in the dark, concludes his last sentence, all of you are going to begin to hear the song. Going to sound like a breeze. That's The air in this cavern is mostly still, other than the little bit of churn that's caused by the heat coming up off of the small river and the geothermal pond. But you're going to have this sensation of, this increasing breeze, this increasing volume. And for those of you who remember a particular wall at a particular mill, the sensation is going to get very, very familiar very, very quickly as reality begins to melt. The cavern is going to slowly. It's like someone you've seen Photoshop where someone's working on top of one art object and takes an eraser, and as they stroke back and forth, you begin to see the layer beneath it revealed. It feels like someone is currently photoshopping the cavern out on you. And you are standing. Okay, so there's some good news for poor Chi. There's some really good news in all this weirdness. That's the mountain. Right there. The bad news is what you're pretty sure that is. I mean, you've never seen one in person. They don't live down here, but you're pretty sure, based on all of your reading and that really trashy fantasy novel you read the other day, that's an orcish warhorde. And the sky is heavy. There is a choking soot in the air. Do you know what magma bombs are? Anyone here a geology student know what a magma bomb is?
Is it?
I can guess.
When a volcano bafts essentially
Yes.
a ball into the air.
When there is without getting too technical, when the content of the magma is such, it's easier to throw it into the air than pour it over the lip. And so what happens is it goes up in the air, the outside of it freezes. It becomes a boulder. The problem is the inside is still liquid, and so it goes weak, sploosh. There are magma bombs raining down through the sky in these meteoric, sooty arcs landing in the distance. And for some reason, I think the part that is there's a dragon in the air breathing fire. I think the part that is most distressing to both Alexandri and Spider in all of this, and keep in mind there's plenty to be distressed about at this point, is the fact that you're not where your point of view is. You're over there, where all the orcs and and lava bombs are heading.
Just gonna hide a little bit.
I don't get that. Sorry, that sentence didn't make sense to me, Jamie.
No, you are not where the camera perspective is. You are very conscious of the fact that in this picture, Spider is way over there in the direction that the army is heading.
Underground.
No. We are in the scene.
Looking at a thing
above ground,
but also aware that they are in the thing.
Right.
We're in the thing.
That was the bit that I missed.
Sorry if I wasn't clear there. So yes, no, this is very clearly a vast rolling plain. There is, ankle-deep volcanic ash, which has killed all life. There are burning torches. There are thunder clouds. Because of course, when volcanoes erupt, the smoke often becomes statically supercharged, and so you have massive lightning discharges arcing over the volcano. What little attempt at rain that is coming down as a result of cloud seeding is hissing as it strikes the still hot ash. The orcs are charging forward. You can hear the sound of war drums rolling. And like I say, you guys aren't here. You're over in the direction all that shit's heading. And then the image is going to collapse, and that's the best way of putting it. It is the worst case of elastic snapback you've probably ever experienced in reality. You're suddenly all back in a cavern looking at a perfectly normal dragon.
Perfectly normal dragon.
That is your frame of reference at this point, I will point out.
Alexandri's curled
Just
up on the
so clear,
ground.
Did the perfectly normal was that all? Did that all include the perfectly normal dragon, or was it just for the others?
Did just what? One sec. I need to check the wording on this. Observant. Notice. I will invoke my observant feat. My keen senses allow me to notice details that others typically miss. I want to notice anything. I mean, let's not take this too literally. Something out of the ordinary about what just happened. But particularly, Spider was looking for either any sign of Lucas in that scene, or any sign of like leadership amongst the army.
Oh, you would ask that question, wouldn't you? Sure. Okay, you asked that question. So, reality is obligated to answer your question.
I mean, yeah, this isn't ask a question like
this
the thing is. It's just I asked the GM and you tell me what I spot.
The point is that Spider couldn't not see it. Even if he wanted to see it, he couldn't not see it. At the head of the army, unmistakably, are two figures. One of them in a long, dark robe with flowing blonde hair and...
Yeah.
That sounds familiar. That sounds...
we knew she was going to turn up.
No, not her.
No, that's not her.
That's the one who captured Lucas, as described by she.
Oh, right.
No, Miss Awesome Gums is a redhead.
That's right. Yeah, sorry.
No, you didn't hear well-defined calves, Jamie.
Yeah, there were no
well-defined
calves. It was not Jennifer, please.
Again, didn't have scales. Not my area of interest.
Fair.
And the figure beside him was wearing black, heavy armor that kind of looks like the sort of thing you'd want to fight a dragon in. It's covered in spikes. It has razor-sharp angles all over it. There's a great mucking sword slung across the figure's back. And the thing that you recognize is that one of those legs in the saddle is made of iron.
Yeah, sharp. Cool. Fun. Yeah, good time. Great classic hits. WSFM.
Here, let's hit you with the feels.
Cool. No doubt.
Like I say, I was just trying to debate whether or not he could voluntarily skip that detail, but the literal nature of his ability means he can't.
No, yeah. I got what I asked for.
Yep, exactly.
So,
Well, back in reality with the perfectly normal dragon.
Whew, I'm glad we're back in reality with this perfectly normal dragon.
Everyone saw that, right?
Just saw what?
What? The army, the stuff?
Yes. Lots of dangerous things.
Cool. Was that you, Hio, in the sky?
I was assuming, but I didn't actually hear the answer when I asked.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear the question, is the point.
I was like, given that you mentioned the dragon, I was assuming that this is something that everyone experienced, and the dragon was like, oh, that's me. Or
well, one of you've been broken off and you're missing an eye.
Fun. Certainly appeared that way.
It might be your closest cousin, but you haven't talked to them in about 4 millennia, and you don't remember them missing an eye, so...
Fairly certain they're dead. So.
Yeah, actually, yeah, there's that detail too, you're pretty sure.
How certain are you that you're the very last dragon? Hio?
Well, they weren't exactly. We didn't meet up all that often.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
But it's
That's right.
been a long time, and I have searched very hard.
No doubt. All right. Are we assuming that what we saw was the past, the present, the
That's the
future?
future. That can't be
near
the present
future.
because we're not there now. It can't be the past because I've never been there.
It can't be the future, says Mala, because we're not supposed to go that far with you. What the hell was that?
But where were you?
All I knew is you were nearby, but I'm not sure. I had this really weird sensation that I wasn't where my eyes were. I don't get it. I know I was near you, but I wasn't where the picture was. I don't know what that means.
No, yeah, we were there, and but we saw here.
We were in it.
I spotted your blonde friend, Reneshi.
Yeah.
Who's-
Did I see him? But I also have the observant field.
Absolutely, yes, because that would have been the sort of thing which would have been, oh, you!
Yeah. Yep. Little shitbag. Did you see Lucas at all?
Maybe.
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 There was a figure in black armor, the big sword. I just don't understand.
I don't think any of us quite do. If we were there, then it's a premonition.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Future is rarely set. It could easily be something we are supposed to avoid.
I'd very
Which
much
may
like
be
to
why I
avoid.
have been asked to do my task, and it seems all the more important now that I do what I was asked.
How do you avoid an army? Oh, I thought I was joking, but I wasn't joking.
No. I really wish you were.
Yes, me too.
Okay. I think we need to get to the song sooner rather than later.
Or we need to get to the leader of the army and say, don't do it, please. That would be nice.
Alexandria, when has that ever worked? Ever?
Hang on, says Mala. I have the list written on the side of my crossbow. She holds up. She holds up. She holds the bow up, and it's blank.
Oh, that was a joke. Okay. Well, now we have a 12-year-old dragon.
A 12-year-old and a dragon.
Or a 12-year-old that's millennia old.
No, just consider him a 4,000-year-old boy. I think that's far more reasonable, says Mala. With a slight hint of hysteria in her voice.
When you get the chance, ask my soul how long he's been 12
Okay.
and what he was before that. That might be illuminating.
Okay, so
Is
I
it-
said this to Meisel, but I think it also, I need to warrant saying it to you. What you're saying and how you say it is very creepy. Okay? Maybe we can work on that.
I was ancient when your people first learned to hit rocks together. The
Oh,
fact that I have kept up with your language at all is impressive.
and speaks to the fact that you are still alive.
Oh, that's not why I'm alive.
I want to invoke my other once per session.
Can I
feat.
invoke something? Can I invoke something? I don't have anything to invoke, but I want to invoke like.
You did your invoking.
We need to switch to D&D so I can calm emotions.
I have things to invoke now. So I guess I technically already did one of them. Kind of.
Go ahead, mate.
I want to invoke my silver tongue ability.
Okay.
But much as I did with Nadine, I'll ask Sam's permission because I want to learn a secret about here, that one.
Here, fun Rasal.
Yeah, it's just a lot of syllables. It's not that they're difficult syllables. It's just that there are so many.
I legitimately joked with Chantel that I was like, I'm just practicing saying his name, so it sounds like a name and not words I stapled together.
Yeah.
And now you understand the Ebon Elf mania for apostrophes.
There was a time when I was literally looking at how writing it with an apostrophe, and I chose not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's no.
I'll read the thing for you, and you can tell me what it is that where's the bloody, oh my god, I have too many tabs. Perks. Once per session, when you converse with an intelligent creature for at least 5 minutes, you learn one useful secret of the GM's choosing about the creature.
In this case, we need to leave it up to Sam what constitutes useful. Again, usual comments about PvP apply. If Sam, you're okay with it, go ahead and answer the question. Otherwise, tell him to stuff himself.
Yes. It might occur to Spider that it's weird that the song thinks you need a protector as well.
Yeah, I'm already on that track.
And kind of rude. And also to be like 3 days after Chevalier dies, being like, all right, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, we swapped him out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I was sort of like, I did mention that at one point. I was like, here's your child protector to replace your old man protector.
But given that, as you just said, you're on that track already. There's a degree, like there's very much like he sort of appeared. It's just like, good God, this is a dragon. Like he legitimately, I was joking about having things he can invoke. He literally has the perk Extraordinary Presence. So it is like, turns up, he's like, oh God. But the longer you talk to him, the more you're getting this like nagging sense that some of that is a front. That he's kind of, to a degree of like, he's sort of like trying to put on a show for these people that he's only just meeting. That he's trying. He's not like, oh my God, it's a dragon. It's like, he's a dragon who's like, I need to be impressive because I'm a dragon.
Right.
Oh, okay. Straight up.
Trying to live up to the expectation, but like, he's worried he won't.
This is sort of the whole labyrinth thing, right? You cowered before me, so I was terrifying.
It's also sort of like people expect certain things from a dragon.
Yeah. Okay, that works for me. I think I know where to take that.
Might also add that last week Red and Marlon talked about dragons being city-sized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little dragon.
Yeah.
In the same way that Mysel is a little under 12-year-old size.
Are you telling me we've got a dragon that has short man syndrome?
I have to make some notes.
Yes, that is correct.
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Hey, Thunderstorm?
I can say that because I have short man syndrome.
You do, yes. Hey, Thunderstorm? Do you know Genevieve?
No. Should I?
She's been around for a long time, so I wondered
Those
if
great calves.
you haven't seen them for real, but it's true. She has great calves.
More
She has red
importantly,
hair.
she's the one hunting us, so, you know, protect her and all that.
World is a big place, and we can only be in one place at a time.
I think there's probably going to be that moment where this is a common problem, I think, that Harrow has had in dealing with other races. Has been around for a long time means something noticeably different to them than you. So you probably need to qualify what long time means. They have this nasty habit of thinking in centuries.
That is a legitimate point, yes.
Anything longer than about half a lifespan is, quote, a long time. And you, it's like, damn it, I haven't even made tea yet. Okay.
Oh.
There is probably a moment where he sort of eventually stops and goes, wait, what do you mean by a long time?
Well, 6 to 8 of my life. Because now we're using Alexandries as a measurement of time.
Sure, that's much less helpful than a Chantel, which is saying something.
Even less helpful.
It is. She's only 18. It's not even correct. I'm bad at math. Alexandria would have been better at that.
How many rotations?
So many thousands.
How many seasons?
18 times 4.
Sam remembers the number like 120, but I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was
20 years. Because it was the period of the Great War and leading up to the Great War, and that's only a century ago. And I mean, for everyone else, oh my God, it was a century. This woman's just, looks like that, and she's a century and a half old, and your answer
I look like that as a century and a half.
Century and a half.
Mm.
there's a degree of like, oh right. Oh,
Oh.
I forget how short-lived you can all be. But
Gaming, that's
no,
what
I
a
do not
tiny
know
life
this specific person.
I just wondered because she's looking for us. And I don't know, you're great but not powerful, and I just wondered.
It's a moment of like, there's a brief thing of like, not powerful. And he's like, hey.
You said you weren't
More
powerful.
More sort of like, that's not what I. Not. Let's just drop it. But it does like ruffle a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're great and powerful.
It is an angry bird ruffle.
Dragon is chicken.
Tasty.
Kind of like in that same sort of like, like unconscious fist clench. There's probably like an unconscious swell of magic for a moment.
Oh no, my
that
next
with the glasses
task
would be
now.
able to pick up on.
My task now for my next Procreate drawing is to just do a dragon claw as the Arthur
The
meme.
Arthur meme? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Exactly what I was just
Yeah,
thinking.
we were all there. All of us.
Exactly what I was going for. Oh God. To be clear, I am a great dragon in the same way that he is human, she is elf,
Oh,
and you are both.
yes.
It is merely the term used.
Oh. Thank you. I'm sorry.
I got that, by the way. I'm just to put it out there.
Buddy, you're not going to fuck the dragon.
Oh, you
Terrible.
just said it. Oh.
Unnecessary thing to say.
Do you need some water, Spider?
Oh, that
Are you
little
sure? I
tear.
know how you get around things with scales.
He's done this before?
Technically, no. He didn't get a chance.
Well, not for the dragon. This is the first dragon we've ever seen. This is the first dragon everyone's ever
Yes.
seen, as Spider said.
Well, Spider has a liking for scales. Well,
Yet Androconic is
She gets the
really
book
not
out.
going in at all how I expected.
I didn't understand that, so we're okay.
we're all good. How did La Chanson contact you?
Kind of an awareness of what it required and what it offered.
Did you know it existed before?
I don't think so. It actually might be a question for my son. Minds melded as well, as I said.
Right.
But it is difficult for him. His mind was not made to contain that amount of time.
And that's why he can't remember.
Sort of, I guess. It's, I imagine, like trying to find the right container in a room full of identical containers.
There are a lot of Mysore?
There are a lot of memories.
Oh. Oh.
And then there are two of us. So there are twice the amount.
Right. Okay. But you didn't know it existed. So
There are many things in this world. One being, even one as old as I, cannot know all of them.
okay.
Hey, listen. Maybe the song needed the right person to hear it.
Maybe.
I just want to put out there that I don't quite understand why the song cares about me at all.
Mala is going to Mala again. Has it occurred to you it doesn't?
Thanks, Mala, but the dragon was sent to protect me, not you.
Yeah, but little Miss Tootsie there is the one who's always sort of had it hanging around with her.
Little
Has
Miss
it?
Tootsie.
Okay, tall Miss Tootsie is the one who's always heard it.
That's my point, isn't it? Like, I don't really. I mean, don't get me wrong, not going to turn down the help. But, like.
Do you realize how difficult when you tell a bodyguard, look, I want you to protect, that one, but if a fireball goes off, let that one out to fry and only protect that one over there. It just doesn't work that way. It's just complicated. It makes everything more difficult. It's just easier to straight up say, just keep them all out of trouble, would you?
But, I mean.
There's a degree while this is going on, and they may or may not notice. The spider probably does. He's pretty observant. It's a sort of a mix of like confusion, but there's a degree of irritation, but it's caused by the confusion that this conversation is causing.
Spider cares for Alexandria, and Alexandria somehow cares for you. So it makes sense that it would also want to protect you.
Not to find a point on it, but I don't think your brother was ever playing the harpsichord as a hobby in his youth, and yet hanging around with her for a while, suddenly he was turning swords into sheet music.
And now he's at the head of an orcish war horde, fighting a dragon.
What?
We were just talking about this.
No, you said maybe you saw him.
I didn't
Well,
see
maybe.
anything.
Maybe what?
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
there was
yes, he was at the head of the orc horde, or
Why would
Well,
he be?
you saw the blonde guy at the head of the army next to the guy in the big black armor. Could have been Lucas.
Why would it be Lucas?
Could have been an orc. Pot helm and black armor does not. I don't know what you've done for military fashion lately, there, Spider, but pot helm, big sword, and black armor just means has image issues. That's all it means. Okay.
I look at Alexandre and I say, it was him.
So we have to get him back before it happens.
Yeah. Speaking of, can you fly us out of here?
Clearly trying to like write in his mind what just happened.
Spider,
it's completely thrown him.
He's a little small.
Like your reaction. And then when it's like when you fly at me, it's also just sort of like, I'm not sure that would even be wise. What with other people's reactions? What with some, as mentioned, tunnels being too narrow?
Okay, well, I had to ask. I mean, thanks for considering it.
And I am not what I once was. Might be too much for four of you.
Right. Okay.
Right.
But I have a question.
Right. So that's how you can. So yeah. And you have armored scales and stuff. So there's a difference between my soul coming down here with you and not getting scraped up or ground up as you wiggle through narrow bits, and us on your back as you try to scrape through and wiggle through narrow bits. Yeah, got it. Yep. We'll walk.
What was your question?
Why are you like at Jasper? I'm confused. Why are you not more pleased? I would have assumed this was something you would want.
Your protection.
And then also to Alexandre, you as well.
Oh, no, I am very glad to have your protection. That much should be clear. I'm just not sure why the song cares enough to protect me. Her, I get.
La Chanson sent you 3 days after my friend died.
Yes, that is why I was called.
Yes.
The main reason.
Yes.
You lost your protectors, and so I was called.
He wasn't just my protector. He was my friend. And I find it strange that La Chanson does not know me well enough to know that I don't know if I want one.
He's sort of doing that thing where he's like going to say something and then doesn't, and then goes back to thinking about it and like kind of starts like pacing a little bit. And just sort of. And he is.
Moment where you tell the dragon, "Look, I'm sure you're all that in a bag of chips. We really don't need you." And you
No,
kind
no,
of.
no.
He is wrestling with something, and it is frustrating him.
Difference between need and want. Difference between need and want.
Sorry, I'm absolutely adoring this scene. I really am.
It's sort of an event. He's like it's sort of like he's built up, and then eventually he just sort of, and not directed at anyone in particular. He's like, I have been called upon to perform a service, and in doing so, I will be rewarded for my work. Your want and your need do not register there.
I know.
But I am surprised. I thought you would be happier.
I'm chuffed.
He turns back into Mysel.
Or inverse dragon origami.
It's the same process, but
You
now
ever
it's
just
him
get
folding into
ghosted
himself
by
and
a
then like
dragon?
Do you ever just fold?
Mysel sort of gets his bearings a bit, and he sort of looks even like one foot just like looks up. He's just like, did he get frustrated then get angry?
Most people do when they meet me, yes.
It's a common reaction, says Mala.
Yep, pretty accurate.
No, we've talked about this. It's him, not you. I'll have a word with him. Well, that's not
Yeah, is that a thing you
accurate.
can do?
No,
No.
that's not at all accurate, but it's a useful way to think about it. It's kind of more like passing notes, but also not at all like that either.
I read
one
a
moment.
terrible romantic novel when I was young about a girl who shared bodies with another girl. Anyway, and they let me.
Is Jamie referring to Freaky Friday? I need to know this.
No.
They
I mean,
didn't use the word
obviously
freaky.
in the sense that I'm referring to something else that referred to Freaky Friday, probably yes. But like
The title did not use the word freaky.
didn't.
No, it's Creepy Friday.
Mysel sort of like, excuse me, and he sort of goes even further away, and then like kind of like in that sort of like, we need to talk alone, and he just goes off, and then you will get to watch him just switch back and forth repeatedly.
Absolutely not.
Oh!
Hold, unfold.
Enjoyed either watching that and like horrified or not, but that's what he just goes off and does that.
There's going to be this one fascinating moment where where an alligator-sized thing with 8 legs and a sort of tail is going to decide it has gotten too fucking weird for it.
No, fuck no. I will quickly point out, when Marcel came back, his hair was not in braids.
I assumed that was Alexandre's gonna have to just get used to doing his hair.
Hey, Alexandre.
What?
I regret coming.
You can still go back.
Okay, I know. I'm considering it.
Okay.
Mala says, I'm too stubborn to consider it, and I regret that.
One of those, I'm reconsidering every choice I've ever made that has led me to this moment.
Yes, I am. Correct.
Alrighty, folks. I think that's where the origami loop dragon, I think, is where we're going to close this.
Why? Why is that?
It's like the worst Ouroboros.
This is literally exactly what Jasper wanted, leaving the city. This could not have gone better.
It was very much, when you were debating, I immediately was like, I love this, but I can't react. I have to not react. And when you started guessing dragon, I was like, oh yeah. But it was when Nadine was like, it's like, you know, if he's real or not, or maybe. That was my reaction to that, was why we flipped that. Reaction was like, yes to all of that. I guess.
Oh jeez.
No, it has been terribly fun, because the first time when I had the "Are you out of your bark?" reaction that most GMs have when someone says, "So do you mind if I just add a dragon to your campaign?" I don't even know what dragons are in this world. Okay.
To be fair, the existence of dragons wasn't the stumbling point I thought I would hit from the initial pitch.
It just, so yeah, no, it was fascinating when he came to this. It's like, I can see all kinds of ways this would go wrong. I can see all kinds of ways this is going to break the game. So there's back and forth thing about, sort of what he would remember and stuff, that sort of thing. Because, obviously I don't want the entire campaign history laid bare by a dragon who could have just been hanging around explaining it to everyone all along. So there's got to be a good reason for that. Sam very carefully came up with one.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds boring. Let's do something else.
Yeah. So it was fun, and I've just been it wasn't actually perversion, by the way, which was the reason that Maul insisted dragons were all gone. I literally rolled to see if she would have any idea, other than common knowledge, that quote one guy. But no, the dragons, the giantkin, very systematically hunted down all of the great worms, because they were the only thing that could compete with them in the early days of their empire. So they just systematically eradicated them. And to do that, you need to know, and because the giants are like this, if you can imagine, cloud giants running the Roman Empire, they simply made a hit list of absolutely the name of every dragon they ever encountered and ran them all down systematically. So the giantkin were aware there was one they had never been able to account for, but it had never been seen either, so they just presumed it had, passed on, what have you. But so there was exceedingly thin odds Mala might have known that, but her role was abysmal.
I think I wrote in the background somewhere where it was like, because of how long they lived, a lot of there were like early cultures that just worshipped them as gods, but it's like they're not. So it's like yeah, a bunch of them got hunted. They also just died. They're old. And you can't have it going both. You can't burn the candle on both ends in that way.
Yeah. So
we should.
But we need to wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so let's do our grand exit. Thank you so much. I had so much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Jamie needs to bail first. So why don't we get you to do your send off first?
Yeah, that's me. I'm Jamie Collette. You can find me on Twitter @MuffinManifesto or on my website, jamie-collette.com. I'm a voice actor and director and other things. apparently my control in the chat no longer works, but that's okay.
No, I think it's the bot has dropped. Hang on a sec.
The bot's
It's okay.
broken.
Jam.
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 Jiminy Cricket, as my grandmother used to say. I forgot where I was up to. Oh, check out streamshakespeare.com because in just under a week I am opening in Henry IV, Part 1 and 2, set in space. And that's where my cool blaster pistol comes from.
Yeah, noises.
But yeah, it's really cool that our animators have been working like overtime getting our starship sequences in place, and
Let's
there's
go.
cool original music, and it's all live, so who knows what could happen. Yeah, that's cool. Do the things.
Sam, what you doing?
Hey, that's me.
It
I'm
is.
Sam. I'm a voice actor and performer. I am in Brisbane. You can find me on Twitter at @_RealSammyP. The stream I was doing on Mondays is being restructured, so I don't actually know what to promote for that because over the weekend it was just sort of like stuff's happening, we'll get around to it. So I don't know, something might happen there. But I do want to again just point out just how amazingly happy I am with our artist Sonia, who has done all of these wonderful pictures. But I am constantly in awe of how we can send what seems like such little information. Like, I think between the two of both Mysel and the dragon Hio, I sent like a little bit over a page of information, and then we get something that so utterly encapsulates them in just this headshot. And particularly I was so excited to share them, partly because like when I first started getting the previews, I was like, oh, that's exactly what I imagined Mysel to look at. And then I got the dragon and I just went, oh, yes, all of that is yes.
Put the dragon up on.
I will. That's a good point.
Oh, why I leaned.
Amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
So handsome.
Perfect.
So handsome.
I particularly like the look of like
The cat look of disdain.
the cat look of like both like aloof disdain, but also I'm going to toy with you. Maybe you'll like it.
Yeah. That I find
Maybe you
that
won't,
so.
but I will.
Yeah, that's a concerning look.
And that is not something I specified, but when I got it, I was like, how did you know? I didn't know. How did you know?
Should
What's
not
going on?
enjoy that look as much as I do. Nadine, I was going to say save me, but you never do. Go.
No.
Tell us about you.
No, I'm Nadine. I'm a voice actor and writer and player of games, an occasional streamer at some point in time. You can find me on most socials, NE_actor. The final episode of Primordial Deep, which I am in, released a couple of days ago, and it's the finale, so it's amazing. Sound design, incredible. Acting, fantastic. Just so good. I just can't wait for season 2. It's going to be a while, but it's going to be amazing. So I'm in that, and Golda's Gazetteer, which is the 5e expansion that I'm working on, is also slowly coming out. Super cool stuff there. So yeah, if you can check those things out, Michelle.
Sorry, got distracted by Jamie's last comment in chat there. That's hysterical. So yeah, my name's Ch2. I'm the GM storyteller for this amazing group. I am such a spoiled brat. Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. You just really do need to stop doing that, Jamie. So.
I was about to do a graphic representation and went, hang on.
I didn't do anything.
What were you thinking?
So yeah, you can catch up with me on my
Tell
channel.
me you're all actors when we immediately were like, oh, physical theatre, okay. I hate us.
We're so good.
So yeah, you can catch up with me on my own channel tomorrow morning, 9:02 PE Gaming, here on Twitch, where I'm, amongst other things, going to be talking about this game and the challenges of integrating new players, and why sometimes you just need to let the player decide how it's going to happen, because not all GMs do that, and not all GMs can do that. You can also catch up with me on Amazon.ca. I've written a few novels. Check me out there, steampunk and dieselpunk, officially, if you're into those genres. And I'm happy to announce I'm finally, with the help of a good friend, back to working on my next novel. It's and I'm my first real foray into actual science fiction. And because I'm an 80s kid, of course, it's going to look an awful lot like 1980s science fiction. So there we are.
Let's go.
Yeah. Over to you, Chantal.
It's me. I'm Chantal B. You can find me on Twitter at Chantal B. You can find me on Tuesday my time, Monday US time, 8 p.m. Eastern, playing Castle Falkenstein once more. We're going to try to finish it off for the next 2 weeks, back to back, because I will be starting something new the week after that. I don't know if I can announce it, but be prepared, for it will be something at around the same time somewhere else. On exciting news fronts, Omens Rising has begun its marketing push. Head over to Twitter at Omens Rising, because cool stuff's on its way. Cool stuff's on its way. It's getting signed off, and sensitivity readers are reading stuff, and art's being finished, and ugh.
For those of you unaware, this means that Chantal is rather excited about this episode.
Yes, because I'm one of the writers on it. I'm so excited. I can't scream because it's 1 a.m. and my husband's asleep.
Go ahead, we won't mind. Oh, 1 second though.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, there's that happening. I'm an actor, I'm a writer, I'm a psychologist, I'm a person that's perpetually awake and on social media. Always Chantal B, pretty much. And with that, let's wrap up for tonight. It has been lovely having everyone along. It has been lovely meeting this new character and being terrified out of our minds for a good solid hour and a half. And we will see you next week, because we have to know what happens next now. I mean, we always needed to know what happens next, but we need to know what happens next. I want to know the outcome of this conversation. So, like, specifically between the two of them, none of us. I don't care about us right now. I want to know what that conversation is. So, we'll be back next week. We'll see you then. I have to do tech things to make that happen. Huzzah! Bye, everyone.